Many Americans see Donald Trump as a threat to democracy, but others are convinced that their democracy has already been hijacked by a sinister deep state cabal. How did this happen? That's after the news.
BBC News with Govinda Gill. The US military says it's carried out airstrikes on 5 weapons storage locations in parts of Yemen controlled by the Houthi movement. A statement from the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said President Biden had authorized the attacks. The US envoy to the United Nations has said Washington is monitoring Israel's actions in northern Gaza to ensure it's not pursuing what she called a policy of starvation there. Israel said about 50 trucks arrived in northern Gaza on Wednesday. Police in Argentina are investigating the death of the British singer and former member of the boy band One Direction, Liam Payne, who fell from a balcony late on Wednesday. Police were called to his hotel in Buenos Aires after receiving reports of an aggressive man who may have been under the influence of drugs and alcohol. A tribunal in Bangladesh has issued an arrest warrant for the exiled former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in connection with alleged killings during the protest that ousted her. Ms. Hasina fled to India following the uprising in July and August. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is in Brussels, has urged EU leaders to unite in accepting his plans to bring the war with Russia to an end. Mr. Zelensky has just presented what he's calling his victory plan. Human Rights Watch says the authorities in Tanzania have shown increasing intolerance for free speech by clamping down on critics and the political opposition ahead of local elections. The rights group says since June, hundreds of opposition supporters have been arbitrarily arrested. A South Korean court has found Seoul's former chief of police not guilty of negligence over a deadly Halloween crush 2 years ago. 159 people died in the incident. BBC News.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out, tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for star, R for radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Girl, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 or 0023320060636, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 002 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
It's your mouth. Bekutu, show them you got the cocoa set. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Harry Song, aka Mr. Songs. This is the Kingmaker Baba for the girls. We're here. This is Starr Radio. Don't go nowhere. UK, London. We they call them London for who? For here, we they call them London. And I sabi you know, just have fun and stay blessed.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
That is how I say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on all other planets. Yeah, I salute each and every one of you. And thank you very much for tuning in once again to listen to us on the Starr Radio UK morning show. I thank God that you are still alive, and I'm still alive. Does that mean that we still have business to do with the Almighty God or our Creator, whichever is appropriate? But wherever you are, welcome to the program. I am the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Okay. Let me say good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Good morning to Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Good morning to Mr. Frank Davis, Felix Odewena, Bedin Kojo D. Massive good morning to you all, gentlemen. Shamsuddin, good morning. Anthony Adedeji Aziz, good morning to you as well. Bishop Adeshina, good morning. Antoinette, my apologies. Pastor Momo, good morning. Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, good morning. Atakofi, good morning. All inhabitants of Ashaman in Ghana, massive good morning to you. To me, that's the chief of Ashaman. Massive good morning to you there as well. A special good morning also goes to you listening to me. I didn't mention your name. Yes? Aboshola. I hope I managed it well. Okay, massive good morning to you all. Let me say good morning to my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yes. He is on an errand, and therefore we're not sure whether he'll be able to join us. But whatever it is, if it's fine times to join us, we'll be able to bring him your way. But wherever you are listening to us this morning, I want to say to you once again, don't touch the dial. This is Starr Radio UK, and this is your Thursday edition of the morning show. As the program goes, yes, I'll bring you the quotes for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. That is known as global trotting. Then we continue to bring you the details of all those stories, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. As I say on this platform, it's making the headlines. Rest assured, I'm going to bring that your way. If possible, once we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki, we'll be bringing you those updates from Nigeria. If not, I'll be bringing that to you. The information that he's shared with me so far, we'll be bringing that your way. Then we'll be going to other parts of the world, as I've said, from archaeology to zoology, of course. And then at 11:45, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. At 12 o'clock, we'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. So, Najis, in an hour, it's going to be or as my Nigerian friends will say, or my Yoruba friends will say, is it hata? Okay. Yes, I've forgotten the term that Yomi will normally use when he wants to tell me stuff like that. Okay, but wherever you are with me, and therefore I feel very safe and humbled to be in your presence as well. Let me say good morning to the Hammonds, to my sister-in-law Rosita. Love you to bits, darling, and then to Delta, to baby Delta, to my mom, Mrs. Ryder Hammond. Good morning to you, to Eben all the way in Cape Town, South Africa. I salute each and every one of you. Let's crack on. So the quote for the day says, your level of success will be determined by the problems you are willing to solve for others, not for yourself, for others. That shows your level of success, right? Good. All right then, let's crack on from there. Let me bring you the weather. Last night was a bit rainy, and I was thinking, okay, what is going to happen today? I didn't check my weather very well. I didn't watch the weather forecast, and therefore I thought, I could have done some washing and drive them outside, and then not to be using the heating or the tumble dryer to be doing it. But well, I missed out on that. So if maybe you missed out on that, listen to me. Let me tell you what is happening in London and the southeastern part of England, or wherever you are. When it comes to other parts of in Africa, it's all sunny. So I bet you people enjoy that greatly. Atakovi, massive good morning to you. Okay, as promised, yes, Mr. Olayomi Koiki will be joining us soon. But whilst we wait for him to join in, let us go on to look at the head, some of the other part of the program, especially now looking at the weather. We'll look at the transport, and then we'll see when Mr. Olayomi Koiki is ready, he will hop in. Now in the afternoon, any patchy cloud will gradually dissipate, now leaving widely bright conditions by evening, slightly less mild. Now tonight we'll have widely clear, calm and settled conditions during the early hours. Large areas of low cloud, mist and fog will start to develop for many under light wind. Summer temperature is going to be 18 degrees, the lowest is going to be 8 degrees. And then come tomorrow, it's going to be misty, but temperature is going to be 17 degrees, the lowest is going to be 12 degrees. But well, tonight is going to be a bit cooler than last night. So wherever you are and wherever you are listening to us, this is Starr Radio UK updates, weather forecast for today. Atakovi, yes, we'll be bringing you Atakovi, still one of it, and this one is Shida from the Samu Okotose album. Yes, we'll be bringing you Shida. All right then, during the course of the program, so you got to stay tuned and listen to us. We have to be thankful to God, right, for everything that is done for us, for the fact that we are still alive, well and kicking. Oh boy, you got to be thankful to God, because a sad story happened this morning when we had information. We woke up with information that DMP, one of the One Direction former One Direction band members, has lost his life after falling off a balcony in Buenos Aires in Argentina. But we'll be telling you more about all that during the course of the program. So if you are still alive, you did whatever, and you are still alive, you have to be thankful to God, right? Good. Now, on the underground this morning, the presidential travels, good service throughout DLR, London Tram Link, London Overground, and London Cable Car running a good service. Now on the major roads in London, that's the A roads, no exceptional delays. On the river bus, good service there. London Cable Car is also running a good service, bringing us straight to the final segment of the travel update, and that is the National Rail. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you those that are running a good service, because the ones that are not running a good service, those are special service and minor delays, are numerous. Okay, so lend me your ears, but continue to keep your eyes on the road. Now C2C has got good service, Chiltern Railways, good service, Gatwick Express, good service, Great Northern, good service, Greater Anglia, good service, Heathrow Express, good service, Southwestern Railways, good service, Thames Link, good service, and West Midlands trains, good service there as well. But as I will say here, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the roads. Let's take a quick commercial, and once we come back, we will be bringing you nothing but taking you global trotting. Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 002 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Welcome back to the Starr Radio UK Thursday edition of the morning show, exactly at 5 minutes past the top of the hour. And I can tell you that I've got with me my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, after a very, very long and busy week. I think he's found the time. Yesterday, I bet he was on the move, and therefore that's why he couldn't get to us. But thank God today he's doing very well, and he is with us. And let me say, Yomi, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. And a very good morning to all our listeners from around the world. And welcome once again to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I say good morning, and please share the program and invite others to do so. And if you're still in Manchester, where we are reporting from this morning, please do, make sure that you follow us on the Starr Radio UK network.
Yes, sir. How are you? How is Chief? How is the team? How is the team there on the ground?
Well, the team on the ground are still working tirelessly, and the great thing about UK is that depending on where you are, you can still communicate. So, in as much as I'm far away in Manchester, we are still communicating back to you in the studio, and also as many activities that is still ongoing, especially I'll be telling you a little bit more. There's a lot of reaction in terms of what has happened over the weekend. But yesterday, Chief wanted to see and feel what it looks like to have a different part of the UK, which is visiting Wales yesterday. Wales is a population of 3 million. So last night, afternoon we were driving all the way to Wales. I'll be telling you a little bit more about that. Chief is still engaging the community here, the Nigerian Yoruba community in the UK. But the most important thing is, we are live here. Like you said yesterday, we couldn't get through yesterday because it was a tight schedule yesterday. But like I said, if all goes as planned, we will still have Chief with us. Like I said, maybe if not tomorrow, we might look at it maybe for Monday. But for now, I'm still here with you, and I'll be telling you more about some of the activities and the reaction, especially not just what happened in London. There's a lot happening in Nigeria right now that we are also going to be discussing. I know I've not posted anything, but I'll be doing so as we go along. But for now, we welcome those that have joined us on the sister broadcast as well. This is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and my name is Olayomi Koiki.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, reporting live from Manchester. Yes, after last week's events and everything. But let's come to that because it's quite interesting. Back as a few months on, we were looking at things have been quiet, and after the arrest of Chisande Igboho and then being in Benin, and then we have Professor having to move to Benin and stuff like that. So there was that momentum. But look at the government at the time managed to, throw the spanner in the web, and everything just went like scattering. So people had lost hope. People, and have few of the listeners who were contacting me and say, "Oh, we don't hear about that. Is a quest still going on?" Until with other activities that Mr. Olayomi couldn't be with us on air because they were preparing everything on the ground. And then it climaxed last week when there were presentation, the dinner night, and then came to the presentation of the letters to number 10 Downing Street and everything. Now it looks like there's been a bit of a vimp there. Now, how was the reaction of the Yoruba community in Wales when you went there? Did you have any chance of meeting any of them?
Well, we didn't have the time to engage the community. It was again more like a private visit, but again, a staunch member of the Yoruba, in Wales, and that is Mr. Khalid Emola, is also one out of the many members. Remember that when the movement started in 2019, we had quite a lot of different groups that scattered all over the place, and Emola with some other individual decided that it would be of best interest to have a body, and that was a lot of work. Remember that to bring groups that have been operating either as Yoruba campaigner, or groups that are just part of Nigeria, or groups that are just Nigerian Yoruba community. But eventually, I can confirm that after a tireless work by Mr. Kayode Emola and so many other groups as well that came together, there was what we now call the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, known as the YSDM. Under the YSDM, we have about 92 different groups that are operating. One of those groups is Ifelodu Apakpo, that brought in Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho into the UK for the dinner and the rally, but in conjunction with the other groups as well. So you can see that what they've done, not that we haven't done rally before in the past, but the fact that we want to be united. And you're quite right, for over a year and a half, there was a lot of distraction. There was a lot of, spanner into the wheel, but it looks like the wheel has been readjusted, and that has get a lot of conversation since Saturday, even though we know that the Prime Minister have not responded yet, but it looks like there is an intimidation from the Nigerian government to the British High Commission back in Abuja, Dr. Montegero, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about that, because also Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho is saying, not warning, but telling the Nigerian government to stop all the intimidation to the diplomat, because the discussion now is we need to come on the round table and decide whether we still want to remain as one entity or not. And if we're going to remain one entity, under what rules? The Yoruba wants to go, the Igbos wants to go, and the question is, everybody wants to know the content of that letter, and like we say, the content remain none for anyone to see. I don't even know what the content is, not even Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. The only person that knows the content is our leader, Professor Adebanji Akintoye.
Well, but we can say that, with everything that is going on, is the quest for the Yoruba nation to be established, and that the government of Nigeria will hearken to it.
Oh yes, you're quite right. Yeah. The reason for the letter, and there's a lot of conversation. A lot of people are saying it's a petition, but it was a letter that was delivered, and that letter has what it entails, that the Yoruba people wants to exit, Nigeria. No one will give you a country. There's no doubt about that. Not even the United Nations does give a country, but it is important that to engage countries around the world, and most importantly, the country that merged Nigeria together in 1914, amalgamation. A lot of people say that amalgamation is a fraud itself, but whether it's a fraud or not, there is still a country called Nigeria, and until everyone comes on the round table, Nigeria is still existing. But the worry is Nigeria, as the former president Obasanjo said, and quote, that is sitting on the keg of gunpowder.
Sit on the keg of gunpowder is just a matter of time. So you don't act, then it's just a matter of time. Explosion will take place. But we pray that we will not get to that point, that there will be amicable settlement. Now, one of my listeners have been listening to all these questions. He hails from Ghana, and he was asking that. He said, for a fight like this to take place, and the machinery to be moving and doing everything, it calls for financing. Do we have people helping? Or because for you to just leave London, leave your work, and then till Sunday also leaving Germany, going to that place, and then you moving up and down, organizing everything, it's all money. How are the Yoruba people, let me put it that way first, because it's first them, and then we can look at other people outside contributing or helping in that fund? And then if we want to appeal to people to know that this is a quest, and we have to, we're not only sacrificing our life, but we sacrifice our substance, our money, and our time and everything into it. Like you are devoting yourself, and other people have devoted themselves. I mean, times that they have to wake up, times that they have to rest, they're on the road and stuff like that. How has contribution of financing been like?
Well, in any organization and in any movement like what we have, you will need funding, and that is something that we've always stressed out. That since you do not want to get the politician to fund it, that will make it a compromise movement. So what we have said is, many individuals, and let's be grateful to the Yoruba communities around the world. You'll be surprised that even the Yoruba communities that are living in Nigeria right now are also contributing. We have what we call, different organizations. Like I said, we have about 92 of them, and they have the right to operate and also seek for financial support and assistance to whatever they were going to be doing. Let's talk about the event that have just been completed. Yes, it was a dinner that was paid for £100. That means that, we were able to fund the project, because it's a project, and that project, as we've said, it was delivered successfully. We also decided that it would be nice, not just celebrating the birthday, to also have the rally in place, and that rally led to what is now generating the real discussion. Even nobody's talking about the dinner now. What people are talking about is, yesterday we are receiving calls from America. I can tell you that, you have been the privilege to hear that, even the NADECO, in America are communicating with me now, saying they want to know where they can come in as well. Remember that in the DECO were also fighting, during the Abacha era until Bola Tinubu decided to play mago as usual, when it comes to organization. So funding is just like the Labour Party and the Conservative that had the election in July 6th needed the public to support. Many people are paying monthly, and like some of us as individuals, let's continue to be grateful that we have dedicated Yorubas that knows that the job of a media like we are is important to be funded so that we can create the awareness. We have also been told by the leader of the Yoruba Nation, Professor Kitoye, that we should contribute what we call Ewa Oromiyan. Ewa Oromiyan means that every month, wherever you are around the world, you contribute $10, €10, 10 Canadian, 10 American, or 10 Naira. And to be honest with you, there are more Yorubas in Nigeria that have paid their 1-year subscription. Remember, if you're listening to us right now, we are also paying subscription to some of the gadgets that we are using. And like we always say, funding is the key. And funding must also be managed, because a lot of people have always come out to say, money has been donated, money has been squandered, no accountability, and we're not donating anymore. But one thing is, there is accountability, and there's money that is well used for this project in the last 4 years. We know that the project was also divided along the line, with people that came in. But one thing is, under the leadership of Professor Baja Kitoye, the movement remains strong. And since Saturday, as we say, the Nigerian government is now asking what was in the content of the letter.
Well, the Nigerian government keeps on asking what was the content of that letter. Ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK and the Thursday edition of the morning show. Mr. Olayomi Koiki reporting live from Manchester, and I'm actually here in the main studios in London, Croydon to be specific, bringing you everything that you need to know. But now let's touch one other issue, and then we'll come to other news that is making the rounds in Nigeria. Now, why is the Nigerian government trying to intimidate the British ambassador, high commissioner in Nigeria?
Well, it is quite shameful that we have a government that refused to listen. And let me take you back before we come back to that. Let me take you back to April, this year, 17th of April precisely, when Professor Adebanjo Akintoye, Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, and Otumba Ademola, the deputy, of the YSDM, wrote a letter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, telling the president to let us come on a roundtable discussion, because we wrote the same letter to Buhari, and it would be nice to have this discussion so that we can move forward as the people, Yorubas, the indigenous that have the right under Article 3 of the United Nations and under the European Union and African Union to seek for self-determination. But as usual, Tinubu that told us some years back while he was in exile here in London, in Milton Keynes precisely, that he doesn't believe in one Nigeria, refused to allow that discussion to go ahead. I'm just going to give you a sneak view of what we wrote to him, because we have to remind people, of this communication, because a lot of people are saying, you have just gone to the number 10 Downing Street and dropped the letter, when you should be dropping that letter to the Senate. The question is, not only the Senate got the letter, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, got the letter, but it did not and refused to communicate back. The question is that a true democracy, or are we still under a kind of a military, dictatorship? The question is, the President have every right to reply us back, but he refused to do so. And if he has refused to do so, that means the next step has been taken. And like I said, it is just one bullet out of many bullets that will be fired into the air, because the Yoruba people are tired of being part of Nigeria. And I will not go through all the letter, but like we say, this is a sneak view before we go back to what that intimidation is coming from Abuja. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of Nigeria, President Office, Aso Rock, Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria, April 17, 2024. Your Excellency, we Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, leading the Yoruba Self-Determination struggle for the Yoruba sovereign state separate from Nigeria, have the honor to send to Your Excellency this important letter, just like the same important letter that we've dropped to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, that everybody is now asking the question all over the place. This letter on behalf of many millions of Yoruba people at home in the Yoruba land in Nigeria, and the Yoruba diaspora in almost all countries across the world. We send this letter most respectfully to Your Excellency as a follow-up to our earlier letter dated 6 August 2022, which we delivered to your predecessor, President Muhammadu Buhari, in his exile. The purpose of the letter is that the message of our earlier letter to President Buhari was that we, the Yoruba people of the southwest part of Nigeria, consisting of the Yoruba people of Ekiti State, Lagos State, Ogun State, Ondo State, Osun State, Oyo State, Yoruba local government area of Kogi State and Kwara State, and the Shekiri homeland of Delta State altogether, amounting to an estimated total number of 60 million, desire to exercise, assert our self-determination as an indigenous nation, and therefore to constitute our homeland in Nigeria into a Yoruba sovereign state. Maybe the president will react to that, but I can tell you it did not. Then let's go back to the reaction of the government since Saturday, especially when the Minister of Foreign Affairs called the Dr. Richard Monteguri, the current British High Commissioner in Nigeria. And these are some of the headlines that came out of that, in the last 72 hours. First, before we go back to the response from Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, my boss, this is what comes out. Sunday Igboho submitted a petition to the UK minister to consider. That was coming over the weekend. Until on Monday, there was now what we called a counter-attack. Remember that the government has the machinery to the media, but what they forgot to understand is the media is now open to everyone. I do not need to go to anywhere. We are right here on the Star Radio UK discussing this same conversation, in as much as all the media in Nigeria refuse to give us airtime. And we are grateful to have the Star Radio UK. And that's what we're saying to the Yoruba community around the world, including Manchester. If you're going to listen to self-determination discussion, not because of anything, because the Star Radio UK is there to let us have the view, because this is how it is done, and we expect the same thing. So let's go to one of the news networks in Nigeria, and this was the headline. British High Commissioner Sunday Igboho's letter to the UK Prime Minister holds no weight. Let me tell Dr. Richard Monteguri, he has no right to say that that letter has no weight. That letter has more than enough weight, because it's the same right that the Scottish people were given to have a referendum in 2014. We're not asking the government of Britain to give us a referendum, but we are giving them an advance, information that is not going to be as easy as it was in the past, and that is part of what the letter is also saying. But the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Monteguri, has described the letter submitted by Sunday Adeyemo Igboho as Sunday Igboho, a Yoruba Nation self-determination activist at number 10 Downing Street. He noted that the UK government typically does not concern itself with petition covering the sovereignty of a state or affair. Now, this was the response from Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho himself to Dr. Richard Monteguri, because we were concerned that it seems that the Nigerian government, as usual, are planning to intimidate him. So yesterday we released another press statement, and this is exactly what we released. Yoruba Nation, don't intimidate the British envoy over my letter, Igboho tells the federal government. And this is how it goes. The Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, has cautioned the federal government against intimidating the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Monteguri, over his recent petition on Yoruba Nation. Nobody will intimidate nobody, and we are here to say that we remain a law-abiding. We have lived in the UK. Igboho lives in Germany. He's not a criminal. Babakitoye has lived in Benin Republic, and exactly what we are doing is exactly what the Yoruba people want. We know that there are some Yorubas that are also against it, and one of those, and too many of those groups, are the APC in the UK. And the question is, what have they done to bring security, education, welfare on their own mandate that have failed because the mandate is shaking under the pampas?
The mandate is shaking under the pampas. That's a big one there. But listeners, it is quite interesting. It's all coming away from Star Radio UK. We don't want you to touch the dial at all, because we're going to be bringing you more from where Mr. Koiki is in Manchester. Updates from Nigeria. But Yomi, before we move on to the other stories making the round. Now, the lawyers in Nigeria, I put them, those in the legal fraternity. Now, have they ever mentioned the amalgamation issue in Nigeria at all? Because that is the foundation of the whole thing. We are going to get married. They say, you know what, this marriage is not forever, but then we'll put you all together. Now, after some time, you can sit back. Maybe after 100 years, let's sit back and let's reassess and see whether the relationship is working or not. If it is not working, then we can decide to call it a day. Now, those in the legal fraternity, any of them, not those in the Yoruba, but let's say others, maybe let's say those in the North, because when it comes to those who are saying that you have to present the letter to the Senate, majority of the senators are coming from the North who will not agree to do that. And that is why we have all this thing that is going on. But what do you think, the lawyers, has there been anybody outside the Yoruba group saying that, look, this particular clause in that amalgamation shows or means that we can go back to renegotiate or re-look at the relationship? Has there been anything of the sort?
Well, I'm going back. Yeah, you're quite right. There's quite a lot of discussion in the past, away from those that are Yoruba that are asking. And I'm taking you back to some of the articles, the British colony policy and the challenge of the national unity in Nigeria, 1914 to 2014, when the amalgamation expired. The son, Taranchi leader coalition of the northern groups, Angola, Abdullahi, was right. And let me bring that because that will reflect, was right. This is not a Yoruba man. This is not someone from the southeast. This is somebody from the northern part of Nigeria saying, was right. Nigeria should reveal the 1914 amalgamation. This article was on the 10th of August this year. Our leaders should see protests as warning of impending danger. The leader of the coalition northern groups, CNG, Jamilu Aliyu Charanchi, has said that the End Bad Governance protest is a testimony that Nigeria isn't working and so many things are going wrong. He described President Bola Tinubu's recent speech as empty. It was saying something different while the country was saying another thing. He noted in an interview with Vincent Kalu, the CNG leader berated the past, the present political leaders of the northern for underdevelopment of the region. He said, however, that the signing into the law of the Northwest Development Commission was a good development. So you can tell that it is not just the Yorubas or the Biafras that are crying for end Nigeria. Those in the northern part are saying the same thing, that this amalgamation is no longer working, and for peace to reign, it is better that we all de-amalgamate Nigeria.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio UK. Mr. Olayomi Koiki in the northern part of the UK. So let's call it in Manchester specifically, where we are bringing you updates. I'm here in the south, in Croydon, and we are bringing you all the updates from Nigeria. Now, hopefully, either tomorrow or next week, we'll be having Dr. Chisande Adeyemo Igboho joining us, and we'll be asking him more questions about the fight for the, let me put it this way, independence. All right. And we had the privilege of interviewing Dr. Akintoye, Professor Akintoye, last Monday or Tuesday?
Monday.
Monday. Yeah. These are running very fast. And I'm thinking that, yeah. So
because you're getting paid tomorrow. It's weekend.
You see. Yeah. So that is how. But we will try to bring more light, because education, and we cannot do that. That is why we have Koiki Media. We've got all the platforms that we try to make sure that we bring the information to the forefront. Then you can listen to it and you can think about it, and then you can go on to know, to make a decision whether what we are saying is the right thing or not. But ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK, let's come to some of the substantive issues making the rounds today in Nigeria. Petrol price hike. Federal government, labor leaders meet. It's a kid mom. Now, interestingly, we thought that the president, when they increased the wages of workers, labor, organized labor, they said, okay, we'll keep the petrol prices so that it doesn't impact them negatively. Okay, but now it looks like no, government doesn't seem to be in power, and things are just going on. Now, labor was agitating once again that, look, this is what you said, and you are failing, and therefore we're going to go on another strike. But government is calling them to the table. I mean, what should we expect?
The issue of the petrol is still a lot of concern to many Nigerians, and you're quite right. As the union that represent many Nigerians, whether from the civil society or others, continue to be concerned because the amount that you are earning will not allow you to get to your final destination. So many Nigerians are walking, and I mean walking a long trek to get to their final destination because the price of petrol. So fuel price, now the reps is warning of unrest. And the word unrest means that, how long can Nigerians continue? A 10,000 naira cannot get you a lot of petrol this morning. And we continue to spend a lot, especially for some of us that are concerned that we have families that needs to be online, for other reasons or also. So the federal government and the labor meeting has now become a deadlock. So nothing seems to be coming out of it. Are we going to see another protest coming out on the street in the end of this month? I don't know yet. But government plans fresh meeting with the union leaders as the reps demand petrol price to be reviewed. A lot of Nigerians believe that when something goes up, it doesn't come down. And that has always been the norm. But the House of Representatives on Wednesday yesterday cautioned the recent hike in the fuel pump price could trigger social unrest. So you can see that what we said earlier at the beginning is that Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Nobody wants a civil unrest, but when you're pushing your citizen into extreme poverty, you must prepare for the worst case scenario.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK, the Thursday edition of the morning show. I have Mr. Olayomi Koiki in Manchester. I'm here, and there's a few stories there, and I'll allow Yomi to just go through all of them. And once he's done, we can just have time to ask him a few questions. Over to you, sir.
Do we now have an empty, vacuum in Abuja because Tinubu that told us is going away for 2 weeks? 2 weeks will elapse in the next 72 hours. Well, not just that alone, the vice president is also leaving Nigeria. Is Nigeria now on autopilot? And that is the headline. No leadership vacuum despite Tinubu and Shettima absent presidency. I mean, you wonder why the two of them are leaving simultaneously. Let me also tell you that, we know that the chief of staff, Lagbaja, has been sneaked out of Nigeria because he's currently in a critical situation as we speak right now, according to the report that is reaching us, through the desk. Onanuga also noted that all the state organs are functioning as usual. Is there something that we don't know? Or is it just a normal that the vice president leaves and the president is on holiday? Presidency yesterday said that the absence of President Tinubu and the vice president that is heading to Sweden in the country does not create any leadership vacuum. Maybe Akpabio number 3 will take over. While Tinubu departed for the country on the 2nd of October for a 2 weeks working leave, Shettima left Abuja yesterday for Sweden on a 2-day visit to represent Nigeria in a bilateral engagement with the Scandinavian nation. The question is, can't the vice president send a representative, or is it just the love of traveling in that beautiful aircraft? A statement was issued yesterday by Bayo Onanuga. The information and strategy said that the two leaders are fully engaged, but they'll be doing that from outside the country. What a very great time to be alive that, both leaders have left. So I'm going to go to business because many businesses are folding up in Nigeria. Many businesses are struggling, and the question is what can be done to revive it. Exciting multinational opportunity. Nigerian firms have risk appetite. This is coming from a former governor of Central Bank and the current governor of one of the states as well, Soludo. It says that government must de-risk some investment as indigenous Nigerians have higher risk appetite to invest in the country. I will not invest in Nigeria no matter how profitable it is, and I have my reason for that. Security-wise, there is no law that will protect that business. There will also be a lot of injustice should anything go wrong. I'm currently in a business premises where we're reporting from called Kentos Ventures Limited. Many Nigerians that are Yorubas that are doing great. This is the kind of what we want to replicate back. They have the logistics, they have other things that they are selling African product here. But the question is, should there be a dispute that Kentos takes to Nigeria to invest, and they will solve that dispute? Remember that most of the states also decide what they wish, especially if the governors are changing. So Soludo is now saying that if you want diaspora to come and invest, you must also de-risk the risk as well. Let's go into that article a little bit. Anambra State Governor. I remember Captain John. I'm sure you remember Archie. Captain John is from that region. Remember that Captain John wanted to import yams and yellow pepper into the UK, and in 10 years we've not been able to do it. The question is, why has that failed? Is because there is so much that is not ready for business engagement in Nigeria to European countries. So the Anambra State Governor, Chukwuma Soludo, says indigenous Nigerian. Well, there's nothing called Nigeria. Again, that's the fraud, because it should be indigenous Yoruba, indigenous Hausa, indigenous Biafra. But because the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation has joined us to be known as Nigeria, so they have to use the word indigenous. We are indigenous as separate, but they've joined it together. Indigenous Nigerian companies like Kentos Ventures operating in Manchester have higher risk appetite than the foreign investors and multinational. The foreign investors also have risk, but they can pull out. And we saw that when United Arab Emirates refused to operate in Nigeria because they could not take out their money that was owed by Nigeria. And I hope that has been resolved. He is the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, described foreign companies exiting the country as opportunist firms that jump from one country to another the day they have itchy feet. Soludo was speaking yesterday in Abuja at another business investment summit. Only God knows how many investment summits continue in Nigeria that doesn't make any impact to the lives of many people around the country itself. He said further that the government must learn to de-risk certain strategy investment for the private sector, as indigenous nationals have the higher risk appetite to invest in Nigeria. And like I said, that is my own opinion. I will not invest in Nigeria no matter how profitable it is, because it is still a lawless country that doesn't respect rule of law. And if you're going to invest in a country that doesn't respect rule of law, you must also prepare for the worst case scenario. I'm going to take one more from the news, come back to you in the studio. If we can review that, then we'll take you straight to where all is happening on the other side on the social media. Let's go back to more news. Once again, this is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Nigeria, IFAD, highlight importance of empowering rural women. I remember in 2021 when I was in Nigeria, we traveled with myself to Chief to certain areas of the rural part of Southwest, and the empowerment is just not there. We're not talking about empowerment of giving them, kuli and bread and maggi. We're talking about training, giving them the tools to work with, because most of these rural women are ready to add their input into the community. But the federal government of Nigeria, in now collaboration with International Fund for Agricultural Development, has recently highlighted the urgent need to invest in this demographic at the 2024 International Day of Rural Women. I'm sure some of this event has been taking place for years, but the impact does not really reach the grassroots. We have 774 local government under the 36 states, including the FCT. IFAD, Value Chain Development Program Knowledge Management and Communication Coordinator, Mrs. Vera Onyeka Onyelo, discloses in a statement the event was held in Abuja at the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, brought together the key stakeholders. For now, I come back again to the studio, Mr. Archie. This is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki in Manchester, Archie here in the South Studios, and we'll bring you updates. Now, interestingly, you did touch on that story that you did touch on empowering women in agriculture. Now, we've forgotten what you were talking about, Captain John, and it all stems up from bureaucracy that goes on there. And again, the insecurity that is going on. We have farmers going to their farms, planting or doing whatever things, and we have herdsmen bringing their cattle, destroying people and killing people. And then we have people who are kidnapping people, and virtually people running over people's hard work and earnings. Now, it seems that they seem to be putting the cart before the horse, because the basic thing, what they have to do, they are not doing. Insecurity in the country is on the high, and therefore, if you say, "Oh, okay, let's empower them, let's give them money," which farm are they going to? Is it the one in front of their houses,
or the one that the terrorist Fulani has invaded?
Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. I hope that they are not just going for this. One of our friends was a tea party, just making statements and having some drinks, and then they go home and they get all those benefits that they get from there. Ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK. Now let's look at the Okay, I missed that one. Yes, the investment again. We're talking about they were talking about indigenous Nigerians. Where when we talk about like we are saying, people are saying that we are fed up with whatever system that is operating there. We don't want to be part of it. So if you say indigens, then we're talking about Yoruba indigens. We're talking about maybe Hausa indigens. We're talking about the other tribes as well. But the question is. Ladies and gentlemen, just bear with us. Yomi. Yes, don't you worry. Okay, the question is, how prepared? You were saying that you were not prepared to go invest in Nigeria because of the lawlessness that goes on there. Now, how prepared are those of us who are living, those in the diaspora, who think that, well, we can risk it because after all, we still have our people there. We have our people there. Therefore, if you invest something there, at least they know that they can come and maybe get some naira to buy some food to eat or something like that. How does it all work for the Nigerians in the diaspora? What do you think is going to happen to them?
Well, as long as you are prepared, that debt can come true as well. Let me take you back to two most important diaspora that died in the process, and also part of what we've been saying. Dr. Aborode was a PhD that lives in Germany all his life. Wanted to set up a mechanized farming. It was already set up. It was operating until the Fulani tied in and killed him. That Dr. Aborode has the same tribal mark with Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. That was part of what Dr. Sunday Igboho went to the Seriki Gogon and said, look, your people were given the access to eat some of the crops that was the leftover after the harvesting, but yet he went ahead and killed Dr. Aborode. Let's put that to one hand. Let's go back to Mr. Gbenga Olabi that flew from Maryland, had an hotel, employed Nigerians, and also had a farm as well. He was also kidnapped, killed, and the body was, returned back to Maryland. You're quite right. We still want to support our people back home. I do support businesses back home, because that is the only way we can help them. But the problem is, when we talk about the real diaspora that wants to go back home and invest, we not just invest, they want to go back and participate from the healthcare, especially we have many Nigerians that are working tirelessly in the healthcare sector in America, in Canada, in Australia, and right here in the UK that wants to take their expertise and set up a clinic or whatever. But again, the bureaucracy in each of the state, you must know someone and you must bribe someone, and some of us have done that in the past. Not that we have not invested in Nigeria. I invested in Nigeria, throughout the 2 decades I've lived here, but no return came out of it, and there's nobody to take to the court. Especially when you are dealing with a country that has a lot of different reasons why people want to remain separate.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK will allow Yomi to bring you what is happening on the social media platform so that we can bring the conversation, because it's been a lengthy one, a quite interesting one as well. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, Nigeria does not have a currency problem. Our problem is lack of productivity. This is coming from Obiera. We are not a productive nation and have deliberately refused to do simple things that will make the economy productive. Dr. Emeka Obiara, Development Economics. Well, let's listen to a little bit of it.
We have is the issue of productivity. We are not a productive nation, and we have refused to deliberately do simple things that will make this economy a very productive economy. It breaks my heart every time we will sit down to keep on discussing, Naira is losing value. I read somewhere somebody was lamenting, Naira is today trading at 1,705 to $1. And I asked him this simple question: are you expecting the Naira to gain over the convertible currencies when we practically produce nothing and practically imports everything that we can easily produce here? I'll give you an example. Nigeria has no business importing over $11 billion worth of agro commodities, things we can easily produce here. Nigeria has no business importing $18 billion worth of white petroleum products and minerals that we can easily refine here. Most of the things we waste our scarce dollar resources on are things we can competitively produce here and export.
Well, I'm sure you've had a bit of that, and I'll probably just read some of the comment below that so that we can see the response. And according to True Benny, I take it one step further and say Nigeria does not have productivity problem. Nigeria has a problem of being governed by people with third world brain and third world ideas. There is no time in this world when a goat has ever birthed a lion. Therefore, there is no time when third world brain leaders will transform a country into a first world. What are these third world brain ideas? Inability to establish a modern state-of-the-art ranching system. Number 2, distribution of rice and indomie like in the refugee camps. Number 3, sharing keke tricycle, which developed. What have you ever seen tricycle as a form of public transportation? Third world brain. Number 4, complete absence of world-class institution, facilities, etc. Not one university, hospital, market, road, airport, etc. is world-class. Metrocrat is multiplied throughout the nation. Number 5, leaders who are shameless about rigging election and flaunting the outcome as victory. Number 6, third world policy, not even in the nation's capital will you get proper, adequate, effective policy and police attitude you expect at the capital where many foreigners live. We can at least pretend there and make our policy classy and modern. But the third world brain leaders do not like this. They are comfortable with police carrying assault rifles everywhere. Number 7, political office holders who are comfortable with being worshipped, flattered with, encourage and promote psychophonic behavior around them. That is an attribute of a third world brain. Assault first world leaders are firm, disciplinaries. And I will just add the nation where the president, Tinubu and the rest will leave Nigeria and shout to us, welcome to London and receive their medical.
That just sounded well for you listeners. I tell you, it sounds it well. They said everything is fine. You have to stay there. But when they are ill, they fly here to get the best medical care. If what is happening in your country, in Nigeria, in other parts of Africa is good, why didn't they?
And the last part it says, I just picked up, therefore, you have Nigeria will remain a third world nation for 1,000 years. The Yoruba people will have left before then.
Hopefully, let's pick fingers and everything across and let's see development. But as we said, we promise you, we're going to be having Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho either tomorrow or sometime next week. We'll be bringing him to you so that he can make his vision clear to you wherever you are. And every other program that goes on Koiki Media or the other platforms that are connected with this quest, we ask that when they are going on, do listen to it and share your take with us, because we know that wisdom is not in the head of one man, but if we put our strength and our minds together, we are able to move forward. Yomi, before you go.
Well, stay tuned with Archie. Archie has a lot to give you. I'll be back again tomorrow, God willing, where we will continue to explore Manchester before we'll be heading back to London. But for now, it's a beautiful, outing here. But like I said, we're grateful to the host, especially those that hosted the event here, from Olorieko to Kento's Ventures and the husband and the family for taking good care of us and all the Nigerian community in Manchester.
Okay, let me say thank you very much to all the Nigerian community in Manchester, but I'm going to bring you a tune. Today I'm not bringing you Yoruba Nation, I'm bringing you Orile Demi from Jeanette as well. Enjoy that song. It is for all the Yoruba listeners and yes, every one of us. Thank you very much, Yomi, and I'll be back with you to bring you more of what is happening from across the globe. Enjoy the music.
Top dog.
Èmi fòmìnira forílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Yóò polongo fáráyé. Èmi yóò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́
This is Starr Radio UK.
Fòmìnira.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
The best radio show.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
Ọ̀pọ̀ aládé ni wà látòdè ọ̀run. kò bẹ̀rẹ̀ fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀ rárá kò jọra. Ọmọ ojú àdìdé bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá rẹ̀. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira forílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá.
Well, God bless Yoruba Nation. God bless all the leaders. And God bless all the workers on that front as well. This one coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 10 minutes to the top of the hour. And this is the Thursday edition of the morning show. We're going to move on to some of the other stories making the round. But after this short commercial break, stay tuned and don't you go away.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
All right, then. Welcome back to the program. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. And we remain you as well. We remain a team. And we remain ones who are turning the world around with information. Right? Good. All right, then. Now, so let's move on. To some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But starting from home here in the UK, One Direction star Liam Payne has died after a balcony fall. The singer fell from the third floor of a hotel in Buenos Aires in Argentina. The police have said, well, he was a troubled boy, young man, let me put it that way. In a statement, police said they discovered Payne's body after an emergency crew responded to a call in the upscale neighborhood of Palermo on Wednesday. Now, Payne had risen to global fame as part of the much-loved boy band created on the X Factor TV show in 2010, along with Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, Niall Horan, and Zayn Malik. Now, earlier this month, Payne had attended Argentina concert of his former One Direction bandmate Niall Horan. According to police in Buenos Aires, officers at the scene were initially responding to reports of an aggressive man who may have been under the effects of drugs and alcohol. Now, when they arrived at the hotel, officials were told a loud sound had been heard in an interior courtyard. Soon after they discovered the body there, a police investigation has been launched. Emergency Medical Services Director Alberto Crescenti told local media that Payne had suffered serious injuries and that an autopsy will be carried out. Mr. Crescenti declined to answer questions about the circumstances of Payne's fall from the balcony. The star's body has been transferred to a morgue in the city. Now, Payne's posted on Snapchat just hours before the incident saying, "It is a lovely day here in Argentina," but the video was from earlier in the week where he had spent time with his girlfriend Kate Cassidy. Well, we say may his soul rest in perfect peace. The UK Foreign Office confirmed it was in touch with the authorities in Argentina regarding a report of the death of a British man. No further details were given. Once news of his death broke, fans began gathering outside the Buenos Aires hotel where the death took place, prompting police to cordon off the entrance. Some lit candles in his memory. In a quote, one said, "I was in my living room and my sister told me Liam died." A young fan named Violeta Antia told Reuters news agency, "We couldn't believe it. We came here directly to confirm it was true." And lo and behold, well, we say may his soul rest in perfect peace. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We're still going on to look at some of the other stories making the rounds here in the UK and other parts of the world. Now, in other stories making the round, the new England manager, Thomas Tuchel, said England can free ourselves from history and work to make our dream come true at the 2026 World Cup following his appointment as head coach. Now, German Tuchel, 51, was confirmed as the next Three Lions boss on Wednesday and will officially take charge on the 1st of January after signing an 18-month contract. Now, Tuchel said he's sorry. He said he is sorry, I have a German passport, when asked about becoming only the third non-British permanent head coach of the England men's team, after some observers said the job should have gone to an English candidate. He has been taken with the guiding England. He has been taken with guiding England's men to the 2026 World Cup, where they will attempt to end a 60-year wait for a major trophy. He said. Dan Rohn, he said to him, one of the reporters, that nothing is impossible in sports. Well, so let's see. If nothing is impossible, what will be possible? Everything is possible. Now, moving on to other parts of the world as well. Now, migrant deportation to increase, says EU chief. Now, information coming through says European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said that EU could draw lessons from a contested Italian policy of processing migrants offshore in Albania as leaders of the 27 member state hold an EU summit focusing on migration. Ahead of the Brussels summit, she wrote to the EU leaders to say the EU's executive would present a new proposal for legislation to increase deportation of migrants. Now, Italy has begun sending some migrants to a processing center in Albania earlier this week. Now, 60 men were transferred to the Albania port of Shenzhen on Wednesday, but hours after their arrival, it emerged that two were minors and two more were medically vulnerable and will therefore be returned to Italy. The other EU countries have begun considering ways to process migrants in third countries. On Wednesday, the Dutch government said it was weighing up a plan to send rejected asylum seekers to Uganda. By framing this week's summit around the issue of migration, von der Leyen, who is starting a second 5-year term as European Commission chief, appears to be responding to pressure on migration from across Europe. In her letter to member states, von der Leyen said the return rate of irregular migrants from EU countries is currently only about 20%, meaning the vast majority of people who are ordered to leave an EU member state do not. Now, member states should all recognize the decision taken by the EU countries to ensure that migrants who have a return decision against them in one country cannot exploit cracks in the system to avoid return elsewhere. Von der Leyen wrote, under the Italian-Albanian scheme, some of the migrants rescued in the Mediterranean will be sent to Albania, where their asylum claims will be examined. The two processing centers, which cost about 650 million euros, were due to open last spring but were plagued by long delays, have been paid for by the Italian government and will be operated under Italian law. They will house migrants while Italy examines their asylum requests. Pregnant women, children, and vulnerable people will be excluded from the plan. Now, political opponents of the right-wing Italian Prime Minister Giorgio Meloni, as well as several NGOs, have criticized Italy's deal with Albania. Riccardo Maggi, an MP with the left-wing Europa Party, said Albania's scheme was cruel, useless, and expensive, while NGO Doctors Without Borders said it was likely to result in further harm and violation of human rights. Civil rights activists gathered near the Italian-built center in Shenzhen, carrying a large banner reading, "The European Dream Ends Here." Well. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Just heading on or hiking on to 12 o'clock. In other stories making the round this morning, before we get to the US as well, sorry, Europe. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has presented MPs with a long-awaited victory plan that aims to strengthen his country's position enough to end the war with Russia. Zelensky told Parliament in Kyiv the plan could finish the war, which began with Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 next year. Now, key elements include a formal invitation to join NATO, the lifting by allies of bans on long-range strikes with Western-supplied weapons deep into Russia, a refusal to trade Ukraine's territories and sovereignty, and the continuation of the incursion into Russia's Western Kursk region. The Kremlin dismissed the plan, with a spokesman saying Kyiv needed to sober up. Addressing MPs on Wednesday, Zelensky also criticized China, Iran, and North Korea for their backing of Russia and described them as a coalition of criminals. Now, he also said the Russian President Vladimir Putin had gone mad, describing him as a bent on waging war. Zelensky said he would present the victory plan at an EU summit on Thursday. We are at war with Russia on the battlefield, in international relations, in the economy, in the information sphere, and people's hearts, he told Parliament. The plan outlined by Zelensky consists of 5 key points: inviting Ukraine to join the NATO military alliance, the strengthening of Ukraine's defense against Russian forces, containment of Russia's wire and non-nuclear strategic deterrent package deployed on Ukrainian soil, joint protection by the US and EU of Ukraine critical natural resources, and joint use of economical potential for the post-war period only, replacing some US troops stationed across Europe with Ukrainian soldiers. Well, that's going to be quite an interesting one. But which of the leaders will listen to that? Let's move on. The US says it has carried out a precision strike against 5 weapon storage locations in areas of Yemen controlled by the Houthi movement. The Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said B-2 Spirit stealth bombers were part of the operation that targeted hardened underground facilities housing missiles and other munitions that the Iran-backed group had used to attack civilians and military ships. The strike demonstrated the ability of the US to hit facilities that adversaries sought to keep out of reach, he added. Houthi-run Al Masirah TV said the strike targeted 6 areas in and around the capital Sana'a and 2 near the northern city of Sada. It did not report any casualties. U.S. Central Command, which oversees U.S. military operations in the Middle East, also said there were no initial indications of civilian casualties from the strike. Several of those areas mentioned by Al Masirah, most military bases where analysts have said satellite imagery showed the Houthis were creating or enlarging underground facilities, including the television area in the north of Sana'a and Al-Hafa to the southeast. Ladies and gentlemen, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, the banter between Canada and India still continues. The Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has accused India of making a massive mistake that Canada could not ignore if Delhi was behind the death of Sikh separatist leader last year on the Canadian soil. Now, Trudeau made the comments 2 days after Canadian officials accused India of being involved in homicides, extortions, and other violent acts targeting India dissidents on Canadian soil. After Canada leveled the accusation on Monday, both countries expelled top envoys and diplomats, ramping up already strained tensions. India has rejected allegations as preposterous and accused Trudeau of pandering to Canada's large Sikh community for political gain. On Wednesday, India hit back angrily again and called Trudeau's behavior cavalier. Now, Canada has presented as no evidence whatsoever in support of the serious allegation that has chosen to level against India and Indian diplomats, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Randall Jaswal said in a statement. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Starr Radio UK. At 4 minutes past the top of the hour, we're doing our best to touch on most of the stories before we bring the program to a close. During a U.S. election campaign event on Wednesday, Donald Trump was pressed on the event of 6th of January 2021 and described it as a day of love. He was speaking to an audience of Latino voters who could prove crucial in the 2024 race. Kamala Harris told the conservative network Fox News that her presidency will be different to Joe Biden's during a fiery exchange. Earlier, Trump also appeared on Fox himself at an event with an all-female audience. He described himself as the father of IVF. Now, national polling data suggests Harris has a slight lead over Trump, but it's neck and neck in crucial swing states. So what do you think is going to happen there? It's going to be quite an interesting one come the 5th of November. So by the 6th, we'll be getting all the information coming through. It's going to be one that you don't want to miss at all. But this is all coming away from Starr Radio, okay? It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. On the African front, Kenyan senators to vote on Deputy President's impeachment. And what do you think is going to happen there? Kenya Senate is set to vote on whether to remove Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua from office at the end of the second day of his impeachment trial. The Deputy President is on Thursday defending himself before lawmakers in the upper house of parliament, 2/3 of whom are required to oust him. He faces 11 charges, including corruption, inciting ethnic division, and undermining government. As the trial began on Wednesday, the Deputy President pleaded not guilty to each of the charges as they were read out in the House. An overwhelming majority of MPs in the National Assembly last week voted to approve his impeachment, setting the stage for the Senate trial. Now, if they don't get a 2/3, will he have to stay in office? Would he want to stay in or not have to? Will he want to stay in office? Because everybody knows that, well. But maybe he will have to just bow out because there's a can adage that says, if the animal wouldn't want to bite you, it wouldn't gnash its teeth at you. Yeah? So gnashing of teeth, that means that definitely, if you get a chance, it's going to be biting you like no man's business. But what do you think about all that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. And Nigeria drops French palace names to honor local heroes. All right then. Well, they're changing everything. Okay. Let me bring you this one from South Africa as well. 7 suspects, including local government officials and the former African National Congress spokesperson, have been charged with fraud in a South African court. The defendants appeared in court following an investigation into a 27 million rand, that is 1.2 million pounds, government tender. The investigation found out 5 years ago, the provincial government in the Gauteng signed a contract with a company named Enviro Mobile for waste management services. The Enviro Mobile did not disclose that it had links to ex-ANC spokesperson Paul Mabe, who was an MP at the time. A plea statement has said. Now, the suspects were not asked to enter plea, but Mabe and his wife denied the allegation. The court hearing took place on Wednesday after the 7 suspects have been handed themselves into South Africa Elite Police Unit, the Hawks. Wow. So let's see what happens on that front. But you know, when it comes to South Africa, I can tell you that the rule of law seems to be working better than most African countries. The institution seems to work much better than what we see there. But what do you think about all that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. In other stories as well, Mali Junta elevates himself top army rank. Well, that means that when they decide to step down, or retire, or to he will be getting good money, right? The head of the military junta that seized power in Mali in 2020 promoted himself Wednesday to the rank of Army General with special title Colonel Azimi Goita of the Land Army, the highest military distinction held only by 2 former heads of state in the country's history. The move by Goita is a sign that he has no intention of ceding power to civilians in the landlocked West African country. The announcement was made by Council of Ministers, which published a statement on the website of the Malian Government General Secretariat. 5 other highly influential colonels of the Malian military junta were also promoted exceptionally to the rank of 4-star generals. This is not another indication that junta leaders will continue to position themselves as the only rulers and have no intention of having democratic transition into civilian rule anytime soon, said Ryder Limori, senior fellow of the Morocco-based Policy Center for the New South. No date has yet been set for Mali's presidential election. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Star Radio UK. At 10 minutes past the top of the hour. If you want to share your take, feel free to post them, or you want to call in, I'll just give you about another 5 minutes. You can do so whilst I bring you the other stories making the rounds this time around in Ghana. The flag bearer of the Ghana Freedom Party, Madam Ekuya Donko, has announced her intention to take legal action against former President John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the NDC. This follows Mahama's recent remarks questioning the eligibility of certain presidential candidates to appear on the ballot. Now, during a recent campaign tour, Mr. Mahama expressed his confusion over the Electoral Commission's decision to disqualify some candidates, including the People's National Convention led by Bernard Mona, while allowing others he deemed less deserving to remain on the ballot. Now, the PNC is more worthy than several parties that I see on the ballot paper. That is the issue we have with the Electoral Commission. Sometimes they are discriminatory. There are people on this ballot that Bernard Mona qualifies more to be here than. And I know this will provoke controversy, but I mean it. Now, this remark did not sit well with Ekuya Donko, who voiced her displeasure at an inter-party advisory committee meeting in Accra. She declared her plan to sue the former president, claiming he had no right to question her place on the ballot since he had not contributed to the formation of a party. But did Mahama mention Ekuya Donko's name? No. So who is she? Why is she referring to that? Mahama said it is her. It's going to be quite an interesting. She says she's suing Mahama for 2 trillion cedis. It's quite interesting, right? Okay. A couple of stories more, and then we'll bring the program to a close for today. But wherever you are, don't touch the Star Radio UK. Now, interestingly, the Member of Parliament for Memphis Central, Peter Yao Kwache Aka, has made a startling revelation that the NDC's parliamentary candidate, Joanna Jan Kojo, doesn't deserve to be MP. Now, according to him, some elements in the NDC accepted money in exchange for manipulating the outcome of the primaries in her favor. He also added that the party's decision to choose Joanna Jan to run on its ticket for the Memphis Central constituency in 2024 general election was influenced by financial incentives from some individuals with dubious intentions. Whenever it's primaries, you see people coming from abroad, they are not in the party, you know they come and pay some money and win the election. Then in general election, they are missing. Now, he urged the NDC to address this issue, warning that allowing the individuals who are not fully committed to party to contest could lead to their disappearance during the general election. He emphasized the need to cleanse the political system to prevent unscrupulous elements such as drug lords and corrupt individuals from being elected to parliament, which could negatively impact the executive, judiciary, and media. Despite his frustration, he affirmed that he still remains a member of the NDC but is running as an independent candidate due to his belief that his opponent does not meet the necessary qualification to contest. Now, interestingly, when the contest becomes fiery or fierce, then we have people saying or making such remarks. But it's all coming away from Star Radio UK. One other story, and then I'll bring the program to a close for today. A private legal practitioner has argued that the Electoral Commission overstepped its legal boundaries by using an interlocutory injunction or as grounds to disqualify Joanna Kojo. the NDC Amenfi Central Parliamentary candidate that I was talking about in the previous story. Now, according to Samson Ladia Nyenini, an injunction is a temporary order and does not have the legal weight to disqualify a candidate without a final court ruling. Now, speaking, Samson, they say that the interlocutory injunction are provisional measures that do not settle the underlying legal dispute. An interlocutory injunction is not a perpetual injunction and does not determine the rights of the parties involved. So to use that as the basis for disqualification is not only premature but also legally flawed, he said. He further explained that the EC's decision appears even more questionable given that the original May 2023 election, which was the subject of the injunction, had been annulled by the NDC. A new election was held in September 2024, which the EC itself supervised. The Electoral Commission supervised the September 2024 election and declared Joanna Kujo duly elected. So it's baffling that they would later disqualify her based on injunction tied to an annulled May election. And then it said, now he stressed that the EC should have understood the injunction applied to an election that no longer had legal stance. That's quite an interesting one. Because something that has been caught, it's been killed. They say, because of that, let's run a new one. And there's a new one has been run, and the person has won. And say, let's go to the old one that we have disqualified already and say, because of that, this person shouldn't be allowed. Now, which of the parties can tell me that they use their own influence in getting their positions? That they don't have other third parties coming in there or people helping them to, influencing voters to vote for them. Even if they be party members and stuff like that. When they go for their national party, whatever thing that they go, where they have to nominate people, what do? Don't they induce? Well. But ladies and gentlemen, this is why I bring the program to a close for today. It's been a pleasure coming your way. I cannot go away without bringing you a nice tune. And this time around, this is from Ata Kofi. And it says what? It says Shida. It's in Ghana. And Shida means Thanksgiving. We have to be grateful to God for everything that has gone on in our lives, of course, and for the fact that you have life as well. You're not dead, you are still living, you're well and kicking. Be thankful to God. When that song ends and you don't hear from me, it's been me, Archie, saying, have a top of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow for the Friday edition of the morning show, God willing. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Wakato mambi fe akele kumeto penti moni saka koto ni ajale na kanfole ma womi jabosi akodromo komo bonamo.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Yes
Thanks for listening.
Kawa wono febo godo. Yes way. Tofe no gojo. Yes way. Tofe kema way. Kawa wono febo godo. Yes way. Tofe ma way. Wo no gojo. Wo febo gojo. Wo febo gojo. Wo febo gojo. Osasi dada. Wanda bo sida sabwe osa sida da ke won wono fe bokojo osa sida da yo wa moko beni tamo bokura sida sabwe osa sida da afete mofia moneni na vida afete keba anyemi side mofia moneni na vida kaya wala mi kometole mazi oida kaya wala mi kometole mawono gojo mawono ma febo gojo afete keba anyemi side mofia moneni na vida afete keba anyemi side mofia moneni na kaya wala mi kometole mazi oida kaya wala mi kometole mawono gojo adana nyumoe atobo wata bono atobo na tenkodi ejene fedumo oye muano ao womi dabo sida womi febokoto osasi dada moko benita mobue bono leno yowa leno esasi dada sida sabue osasi dada afete keba mofia moneni na bida afete keba anyemi side mofia moneni na bida keye wala min kometole mazio yida wala mliye wala ife no fia anyemi keye wala min kometole wadale siye wala mliye wala ife no fia wala min kometole wadale siye Womi wogbano, womi fe pokojo. Oda fe no fia no na mo pokele yo ego. Moko benita mo lele no di ata. Au nyawo.
Thanks for listening.
Womi fe pokojo. Sidae. Inka sidae, wohale sida, woweno sidae, inka sidae, wohale sida, woweno wala mle, wala ife no fiane, wala miko metole, wadale siye, wala ife no fiane, wala miko metole, wadale siye. Yes way, tofe, nkema we, nkewa wono wofe bokoto. Yes way, tofe, mawe, wono gojo. Yes way, mawe, wono wofe bokoto. Yes way, tofe.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on